and welcome to my channel. It is officially December, which means Vlogmas is finally here. Vlogmas for my channel looks a little different from other people's Vlogmases in the sense that for most people, it means doing vlogs every single day leading up to Christmas. But for me, it means that instead of just doing my Sunday uploads, I also do uploads in the middle of the week on Wednesday, which is, I think, when this video will be going out. So it might not necessarily be a traditional Vlogmas, if you will, but it's my little special version. For today's video, I am going to be putting up some Christmas decorations around my room to finally get myself in that Christmas spirit. Normally, my family is the type that will put up Christmas decorations like the day of Thanksgiving, as soon as we're done with our meal or whatever. But this year we were actually out of town and we only got back on the 30th of November, and it was really late. We were not in the mood to be putting up Christmas decorations at midnight, so we didn't, obviously. But I have a day off today, so I decided that today would be the perfect day for me to focus on putting up my, specifically, Christmas decorations for my room. But the reason that I'm driving right now instead of in my room putting up Christmas decorations is that I actually want to get a couple of things before I start decorating. One of those is actually a new Christmas tree, because the one that I have or have had for a couple of years is really cute, and it's like a green one that has some like white fuzzy, not even fuzzy or fluffy, but just like white stuff that makes it look like snow. But this particular tree, the snow actually can come off and it's really messy and it can be kind of overstimulating. And last year, Christmas towards the end there was like wildly overstimulating for me. So I'm trying to prevent that as much as I can this year. So I'm hoping to find a Christmas tree kind of similar to what I already have, because I love the like look of something looking like it's got snow on it. But if I can only find ones that will have snow that like comes off and is really messy, then I'll probably just end up going for a basic green tree. I also finally broke out my Christmas sweaters. I can't really show you right now actually because I am clearly driving and that would be unsafe, but I will make sure to get a good shot of it once I am back home. I'm also kind of looking for a garland of some kind. I'm thinking like just a greenery garland, but I'm also open to like basically anything. I like the ribbon garland, I like the paper garland, I like the star garland, the orange garland. I love basically all of it, but I think I'm looking for a greenery situation for this year anyway. And the last thing that I don't like necessarily need, but I honestly do really want, is just a Christmas themed blanket, because if you've seen my room before in previous videos, or if you've heard me talk about decorating in past videos, I actually want to have a different blanket for like each season that I can display on my little chair. I technically have a red one, and since my chair is green, that could be Christmassy, and that is what I did last year. But I would love to find something maybe with some trees on it that isn't necessarily like super Christmassy themed, like can also be winter adjacent, if you will. But I don't know, I'm open to a lot of different options, so I guess I'll just have to keep an eye out for what I might like. And I don't think I'm gonna do any vlogging in the stores necessarily. I will probably just end up doing a haul when I get home, so I will see you then. I am now home from being out and shopping for some Christmassy stuff for the past, I want to say, hour and a half. Unfortunately for me, I did only end up finding one thing that I was looking for, and it was not the tree, which I was really hoping to find today so that I could start decorating it. And I did not find a blanket that I really enjoyed. The thing that I ended up finding was some garland, and I got it from Hobby Lobby. It's pretty basic. It looks like a bunch of holly and whatnot, and it's got these little berries on it. I think it'll be plenty long enough. I might actually be able to even like double up on it so it looks a little thicker, or maybe I'll have it draping down the sides. I think that would also be really fun, but that is the only thing that I ended up finding today. So the hunt for a new Christmas tree is still happening, and I'll be looking out for a blanket, but it's honestly not a necessity. Oh, and before I move on to the next step, this is my sweater. I actually found this right after Christmas in a thrift store, I think, last year, and I just think it was so cute. It was actually at the top of my bin of Christmas sweaters because I found it after Christmas and didn't really get to wear it. So I was like, I think I'll wear it for my first vlogmas video. It also helped that, again, it was at the top of the bin and I didn't really have to dig for anything, but I think it's super cute and I got it for really cheap because thrift stores, and I love it. I adore it. I think my next step in switching from my fall decor to Christmas stuff is going to be just setting out all of my Christmas things, and maybe even going through some stuff and getting rid of some things if there are any things in my bin that I don't really think I'm going to use. And I think I am going to do a little time lapse for this so that you can see everything from my Christmas bin as I'm taking it out. And I guess I will talk to you as soon as I'm done with that. So I unpacked all of my Christmas decorations, and you might have seen at the end of that time lapse, I kept all of my Christmas sweaters in the box just because there's a lot, and honestly, I don't really have a place to put them right now, so I'm just going to keep them in there for the time being, but they will be worn and shown off in all of my vlogmas videos, so make sure to subscribe so you can see all of my incredible Christmas sweaters. That being said, I'm now actually going to start with the decorations, and we are going to start right here at the bookshelves. The first thing I'm going to do is play with this garland a little bit that I just bought, because like I said earlier, I'm not sure if I want to have it draping down the sides or if I want to double it up and make it look a little thicker. We're probably going to try both out, but I also have to take down the leaf garland, if you will, that I had for fall. So gotta do that first. There goes that. And now we can try out the holly. I think I like that. I think that's cute, draping down the sides. Is it even? It actually is even, I'm pretty sure. I like the look of this. I actually like this a lot. Now for everyone's favorite part, I am going to switch out my seasonal bookshelf. I'm also going to move you a tad closer so that you can get a bit of a better view of this. I think that's good. We're gonna have to roll with that. I actually have a lot of fall books from this past year. Last year, I didn't have a lot of fall books. I had like maybe 1 or 2, but this year I got quite a few, and I actually didn't end up reading all of them, but I think I got through most of them. Was there not one more? I thought I had more fall books. I think I did read almost all of them. Never mind. The only one I didn't read was Fall at Once. I'm also currently contemplating getting some more bookshelves, and by contemplating, I mean I've already decided, and by bookshelves, I don't mean like bookshelves like this, I mean like shelves on a wall. just because I need more space. Or rather I want more space. I guess I don't technically need it, but I do want it. So there's that. Oh, also, if you're new here, I will keep some of these books from other seasons up on this shelf, but just have them facing outward so that behind this easel where I can put a book like on display, you can see like pages of other books because I think that's really cute. Can't use this one, these bottom two, but the rest of these can be put on this stack in the back. I could actually probably use one more book for this stack because there is a little bit of space up here. Maybe two more thin books or one really thick one. But we're not going to worry about that right now. First, we're going to focus on the Christmas books, and if there's any more of those that don't quite fit in this area, then that will be going back up here. So the Christmas books that I'm going to have on display are actually just my entire Christmas TBR for this year, which if you don't know what it is, you can go check out my last video where I went over my fall reads and my Christmas TBR to figure out what all is on that list, with the exception of two books, one of them being a book I read last year that I actually didn't really love all that much, but it's a holiday book, so I'm gonna have it on display until I can find a replacement for it, and a more winter themed book. I think technically this one might also take place in December and like Christmas time, but it doesn't explicitly say December or Christmas. It just says winter. So I'm kind of thinking I might save this for next year, maybe? And I think the book that I'm going to put on display is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, because I love Hannah Grace as an author. And the rest of these will be going over here, standing up with their spine out. I think I can fit one more book right here. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of moving around because there's a lot of blue in this section, and I'm gonna put this one back up here. Yeah, that was an easy fix. Just cut it up a little bit with all the other colors. You can't even see, but the last book right here is a red spine, so it helps. Actually, should I? Maybe? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, perfect. And now Charlie Brown and Snoopy can go back to living right there because I love Snoopy and I love Charlie Brown. I love the Peanuts very much. You can see that very clearly all over my room. But I'm hoping that next year I can make it a little more in your face. As of right now, I think that is all of the Christmas stuff that is going to be going on over here. So let's move on to the next spot. Next up, we are over at my record and vinyl wall. I also have my TV right here, but we're not gonna really do anything with that. So focusing on my vinyls, I've actually had these vinyls up since last year, and I just really like displaying these two. I think they're both very pretty. I love the cover for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie soundtrack, so I really like that. And obviously the record, or the vinyl, is orange, so I've decided to pair it with my orange Midnights vinyl, which I also think is really pretty and cool. But like I said, I've had these up all year, so I kind of wanted to spice it up a little bit since I do have a couple of Christmassy records. I actually got these wall mounts from Etsy, and I technically didn't get them myself. I got them for Christmas, hence why these have been up for an entire year, because these are just the first ones that I ended up putting up. And I think it's really fun to be able to display the vinyl and the cover at the same time. So I am absolutely obsessed with these, and I'm kind of contemplating getting a couple more because realistically I have the space for a couple more. I also one day really want to get all of the Midnights vinyl variants, because if you didn't know, and if you're a Swiftie, you probably already do, but if you didn't know, if I can get this in there, OMG, the back of each of the like different Midnights variants is a quarter of a clock, and it's my dream to one day have all four and then like put a real working clock with like huge hands in the middle so that it can actually tell the time, Taylor's version. And the two Christmas vinyls that are going to be displayed on my wall this year are none other than A Charlie Brown Christmas and How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Now, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas vinyl is green, and I mean like green. So I'm kind of thinking that since my record player is green, I want to kind of cut it up a little bit and put this one on top. But of course, put the actual cover up first. I think that's center. I can always move it. And there you go. It's a shame that like it cuts off a little bit of the image, but I still think it's very cute. And then we have the Snoopy vinyl, which is actually this beautiful like marble color. It's got some green and some like very subtle reds in there, but it's mostly yellow, and I think it is just so beautiful and I'm obsessed. And again, cuts off most of the picture, but you can still see Snoopy. And really, that's what matters. Yeah, I think I like this. I think it's really cute. So now I am going to move on to the next section. Now we are over in my desk area, and I have to say now that I think this is probably going to be the spot that changes the most over this coming month. If it changes or if I decide to rearrange some stuff in here, because it has the most space. And a lot of my decorations are like pretty tiny, so I don't need a lot of space for them, if that makes sense. So if I do some rearranging, will probably end up doing a lot of it here. But the first thing that I know is going to stay the same unless I get another one that I really like is this little vinyl area. If you remember during my fall decoration video, I decided that I wanted to have this green Avatar soundtrack vinyl on display to kind of throw in some cooler colors in all of my fall decorations, but obviously not fall anymore. And while green would work, you know, with the red and green theme of Christmas, I almost said fall, I have another Christmas vinyl that I absolutely love displaying because this woman is my favorite artist and I love her Christmas music so much. And that would be none other than Miss Sabrina Carpenter, Fruitcake. But I'm just going to move this one back and behind. And then Miss Sabrina Carpenter, front and center. I also had this on display last year for Christmas, and I just love her so much. I mean, look at how precious she looks. We're like almost twinning. And the other thing over here, that this one is probably more subject to change, but I am going to switch out my candle for a holiday scented candle. The candle that I actually currently have is not the one that I put out in my fall decoration video. It is a honey bun scented candle, and this genuinely smells so good. It's insane. But I think I have a couple of different holiday scented candles, so I'm going to take a quick look in my drawer and try to decide between some of them. All right, so I actually had more Christmas scented candles than I remembered, so we are going to walk through some of these because oddly enough, I think I might have a repeat. Okay, so first up, we have this smaller candle that is sugar cookie. I almost said flavored, scented. And it smells pretty good. It like has a bit more of a spice to it than I would necessarily think for a sugar cookie. And it's not really necessarily decorated in a very Christmassy way. So I think we could argue that this one isn't necessarily a Christmas candle, so maybe not for now. So next up is that repeat that I was talking about, which is called Cookies for Santa. And it smells weirdly nothing like cookies. Why did I get this? I'll have to like burn that and see if it smells different when it's burning. Next up, we have one that I honestly didn't even know that I had, and it is called Spiced Cranberry. I don't think it's like necessarily decorated for Christmas or anything, But when I think cranberries, I think Christmas. Whoa, and this smells amazing. So this is definitely a high contender. But I have one more, and that is this little gingerbread scented one, or I think it's gingerbread scented. It doesn't say literally anywhere, but it's a little gingerbread guy, so I'm kind of assuming. Oh, that one's good too. And it's so cute, but it doesn't say like anywhere what it is. It must have had a little piece of paper on the top that I threw away. I think I am going to go with the spiced cranberry because it just smells so good and it's very potent. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and start burning it or melting it. Yeah. Like I said, this is probably the area where things are most subject to change. So I think I'm gonna call it quits in this area for now. But next, let's go to my bedside table. So my bedside table is obviously a little cluttered right now, and that has everything to do with this stack of books that has literally been living over here for the past like 2 months. And I actually haven't read a single one of these books yet. And that's the reason they were living over here, so that I would see them more often and want to grab from them. But that hasn't happened. And all it's doing is taking up space and low-key making me feel really overwhelmed. So that is going to change today. I don't know yet where exactly all of those books will be going, but it will not be there anymore. And the fall decorations that I had over in this little area that will obviously be moving are this little styrofoam pumpkin that I got from some dollar store. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been a Dollar General. And then this little fun fake book that has a fall puzzle inside. I actually never ended up doing this, which is so devastating because it looks so cute, right? I'm going to keep the tissue box here like it normally is. I'm also going to keep this little coaster that I got from a book fair recently over here. And I think I'm going to want to use this little tin that holds a bunch of my ornaments for my tree as a bit of a layering tool here. I think that's really cute, right? Obviously, since I don't have my tree right now, all of the ornaments are still in here and I will have to get to them eventually when I do have a tree. But that day is not today, so we don't have to worry about it. I also have this really cute glass orb with a Christmas tree in it that I am absolutely obsessed with. It lights up, except not right now because I don't think it has batteries in it, but it's really cute. And I'm also kind of contemplating having that over here. But the other thing is I am probably going to end up putting my tree right behind me in between my bedside table and my mirror, my like full length mirror. So I'm kind of hesitant to put Christmas trees over here. And the more I'm looking at it, the more I prefer to have this little tin here than the glass Christmas tree. And I also have this little bird that has a scarf. And I had this bird before the Target birds became a whole thing. I want to throw that out there. I'm pretty sure this one's actually from Hobby Lobby. I don't even think it's a Target bird, but they look a lot like this and they're adorable. But I was there. I was there before. And I think that he would look super cute right there. Yeah, I think that's cute. I like that a lot. I technically do have more areas in my room and definitely more space in my room for more of my holiday decorations, but I am not quite sure where I want everything else to go. And I do want to go through what I have one more time just to determine if I actually want to keep all of it. I will probably do the rest of my Christmas decorating a bit later. I obviously still need to get a little tree, and that probably won't be happening for a couple more days, surely not until after this video is uploaded. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next Vlogmas video. Bye!